Fen Farm Dairy, the home of world-famous cheese Baron Bigod and the Crickmore family.
Are you coming back tomorrow?
It's summer 2023 and Johnny Crickmore is pondering the next step in Fen Farm's journey.
What we've always sort of had that in the back of our mind, the possibility of like being able to have control over all of the process and everything we do. It's difficult when you've got surplus amounts of milk. Well, it's obviously to just make more cheese, or maybe make a different cheese, but again you're faced with these like challenging sort of like everything has some reason where it's pushing back on you. The cheese you make, it has to serve the farm, it also needs to serve the season. With our cheese Baron Bigod, we're juggling with when the cows calve, so when they calve they peak in lactation and then they gradually go down, and we're playing with seasons, and we know that cheese generally is very busy on the months to Christmas and then less busy in the beginning of the new year. But we have to juggle those things around, and we always have these periods where we've got a surplus amount of milk. One of the things which we've always loved about those old cheeses, those traditional cheeses, is that they were done for a reason. You know, they weren't just like made up and like, let's just make a filly, you know, it was done for a reason. And when you look at some of those old recipes, you know, where some cheeses were made with afternoon milk mixed with morning milk, and all these things, but they were done to use up the milk. That was the real reason they were made in that way. It was to fit with the farming family and how they were able to use their milk. Instead of just like thinking about making a second cheese and like just roll it out and there it is, sits beside Baron Bigod and away you go. It's like, let's just like celebrate the period of the year with the cheese we make. I haven't actually told anyone yet. I think they'll embrace it if they understand the reasons behind it.
Mark King is the head cheesemaker at Fen Farm Dairy. Mark is feeling a certain amount of trepidation at the dawn of a new project.
I think everybody is a little bit wary about how this will exactly work, with Baron being such a big operation that it is. You know, the building was designed specifically for Baron, and what we're trying to do now is make a cheese that will run alongside it. That comes with its own kind of challenges and issues, really.
Sometimes, when you're undertaking a new project, it pays to bring in outside help. So, Johnny turns to cheesemaking guru, Ivan Larcher.
With me today, at the start of this new journey, or this project what we're now putting on, is none other than the cheese guru himself, Ivan Larcher. Sorry, I call you right. Cheesy names.
Fen Farm Dairy, it's a long story. We made the very first cheese with Johnny 10 years ago, and well, let's create another story. So we are here to develop another product, another range of cheese linked to seasonality. We want to show customers what Fen Farm milk can do, what the cheesemakers, what the team in here can do. We've got a very interesting cheese in the pipelines.
It just kind of got to a point where we've been so busy making more cheese over the years, and then we've got to this point where we're kind of like, we've got our cheese to the people we always intended to get to, you know, so it kind of felt like we got to this stage and it's like, what now? What do we do next?
The equipment doesn't make the cheese. The cheesemaker makes the cheese. Then the equipment is here to facilitate cheesemaker's life. We'll make it easier, bigger volume, faster, less pain, less work, less labor. But ultimately the cheesemaker makes the cheese. Now on the early phase of the trials and R&D, the R&D stage, we can't afford to buy a press or a cheese vat or different molds, because we don't know yet what will be the final development of the cheese.
It's spring 2024, and with a few makes under his belt, Mark, the head cheesemaker, is really starting to understand the scale of the challenge ahead.
Let's just have a look at these ones. Yeah, it's been on the back burner this for a while, you see, because of all the stuff we've had going on and then people away. We haven't really got a lot in here at the moment. This batch didn't go very well. Splodged out too much.
The new cheese make isn't going very well, and even the mechanics of the brine tank are starting to challenge the patience of head cheesemaker Mark.
Quite awkward, isn't it? That one's just lifted up. Going to struggle with this, I think. It's a tricky one. We've got to find a sort of more middle ground to start off with.
A key part of developing a new cheese is frequent tasting. After all, how else can you tell if you're heading in the right direction?
We've got in our minds, we're going to get this cheese out, hopefully in January of next year, January 2025.
Kind of got an array of sizes here, so we've experimented.
Yeah, it sort of looks like a sort of field of mushrooms, doesn't it?
Yeah. Salt is good on those, yeah.
Better salt, better moisture. It's hard to describe that. You see, one of the things is when you're trying it young, you've got to keep trying it, the same cheese week after week, because we're actually seeing flavour development.
Too much flavour in this cheese at this point, that would be a negative, really.
Yeah. You don't want it, it's peaking too early if you've got flavour at 14 days. It's kind of what we're learning. This is the 19 batch. Flavour profile, nutty, some touch bitterness. I mean, it's kind of gone over the hill, hasn't it? I don't know, still okay. I don't know what else to say at this point. Are you sure you want to do this?
Cheese looks great.
Is it okay when cheeses go green?
Sorry?
Is it okay when cheeses go green?
We'll have to find out.
I haven't had a big enough bit to, I'm a bit worried I'm just going to get blown away by ammonia.
We've actually found that less washing
appears to be getting where we want to get to with the result.
And it's still in a totally different direction from Baron. It still stands out as something very different, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, this is close to, you're getting this Reblochon kind of vibe of like that little ring round there, and the nice sort of rind. If you your first guess, you'd say it was Reblochon, wouldn't it?
Up until now, all the attention has been on the cheese make, but Dulcie Crickmore has been focusing on how to tell the story of the cheese. It's crucial to Fen Farm Dairy that they draw from the local history, and so Dulcie takes inspiration from an inspirational leader.
So with our first cheese, Baron Raedwald, we used the name of an important historical figure local to our farm to name the cheese, and we really felt that with our second cheese we'd really like to do something similar, something that had some real significance to the landscape and the place that our cows graze and our farmland. And Raedwald was King Raedwald. He was the king of the Eastern Angles, so the king of East Anglia. Raedwald is believed to be the inhabitant of some very mysterious grassy burial mounds. We really wanted to give that nod to the Reblochon style in the packaging. So we've got the little Union Jack here, where perhaps you might see a French flag on a Reblochon. The writing around the outside, which is a classic way of packaging Reblochon. For us, we decided to pop the tasting notes on there to give the customer an idea of what they might expect to experience when they taste the cheese. We've got our Sutton Hoo Raedwald mask. Got a little, almost a little flavour wheel going on at the bottom. We just really wanted to pop that on the back of the packaging to help guide people, because everyone likes their cheese at a different stage. Some people love those punchy, pungent flavours and the gooey cheese, and other people really like it fresh and delicate in the early stages. And just to help people really take control of opening it when they want to open it.
It's winter 2024 and Ivan is back on the farm. The team wait nervously for his reaction to the batches of cheese that they have been making ready for release in January.
I'm back here after a year of trials. We've worked last year on some recipes, some adjustments, some ideas of a texture, aspect, profile for the cheese. I'm here to review the cheese that were made, to check with everybody if they're happy with the cheese that have been made, and then also how to bring this cheese from the experiment R&D process up to the production system without jeopardizing the Baron Bygod production and the rest of the production.
Yeah, so this is 12th of the 11th, so it's quite a young cheese.
I think it's sort of like what we've discovered over this last 12 months is that kind of depth seems to be nice, doesn't it, Mark?
Yeah.
Too much depth and you get too much paste, and with this kind of style of cheese you need to have the rind is quite an important part, so you want the rind paste ratio needs to be good, doesn't it?
Yeah, any thicker than that you're almost getting too much curd.
More chance of having some chunky core as well.
Yeah.
The flavor profile is very creamy and buttery and with a beautiful melty texture. But the flavor is not too pungent, not too aggressive, so it's very approachable for even the customers that don't like very much the cheese. Well, you can't say that you don't like the cheese because it's well balanced and mild flavor at the young age.
I think that is what we're aiming for, a washed rind cheese which isn't overbearing or was going to appeal to people who aren't necessarily familiar with the stronger pungent cheeses.
I suppose the question is, Ivan, you know, we've been working on this pretty much every week for about 16 months now. Is this cheese, like, do you think we're kind of closing in on a cheese which is good enough to like put out to the public?
Yeah, I
Sell
think
to our fans.
It's very moorish cheese. The more you try, taste, and it's a cheese that's very easy to keep eating and keep, with a nice glass of wine, red wine for me, and toast.
Yeah, to be fair, I wouldn't mind some red wine right now. It's only like 10 o'clock in the morning, but
It's 0 o'clock somewhere in the world. No, the flavor profile is very like creamy and buttery.
And now, with Ivan's blessing under their belts, the team undertake the time-consuming task of washing, maturing, and getting Raedwald ready for the market.
Hiya, how's it going? Yeah, good, thank you. How can I help?
After months of planning, development, and the all-important tasting, Raedwald is ready. And in one London cheese shop, a new cheese sees the light of day.
Nice, right?